Hi guys, so this is the final video in the chapter 4 series. So today we'll look into public sector businesses. All business organizations that are owned and managed by the government or any other government institute can be classified under public sector businesses. So basically they are divided into three: central government undertaking, provincial council undertaking, local authority undertaking. So under the central government undertaking, there are public corporations, government departments, and state companies. Under the local authority, there are municipal council and also urban council. Now let's look into why a government conducts business activities. In order to provide public welfare, to avoid private sector dominations and monopolies, to provide public security and defense, to provide essential services to public that are less profitable and mostly ignored by the private sector, involving large-scale projects that private sector businesses would find it difficult to invest in. Now let's look into disadvantages due to government's operating business activities. There would be high political influences in many sectors. There is inefficiency and generate losses due to lack of performance appraisals. Increase in national debts and loans will increase. The overall burden on the budget would also increase. Public corporations. So public sector business which is started through a Parliament Act to conduct business activities with a profit motive and also provide some welfare to the public is known as public corporations. In Sri Lanka, public corporations are permitted to sell their shares to the private sector and generate up to 49% of their capital. Characteristics of corporations. Ownership. Here, government should maintain more than 50% of ownership and they could allocate up to 49% of their capital to the private sector. Establishment. They could be established under a special act or a common parliament act. Examples for corporations established under a special act: People's Bank, CTB, and examples for corporations established under ordinary common act: Sri Lanka Cashew Corporations. Capital. For corporations, capital can be generated either initial capital from the government, from private sector shares, from loans and debentures. Legality. They have separate legal existence. Control. Corporations are controlled by the following parties: Parliament, controlled by the minister, controlled by the auditor, controlled by the act that is used to establish the corporation. Management, managed by the board of directors. Board of directors is decided by the Parliament Act which was used at the establishment. Liability. Government's liability is unlimited. Private sector, if involved, their liability will be limited to their capital invested. Distribution of profits. They can be done through payout of dividends, reinvested, or as bonuses to its employees. Accounting and auditing. This should be done according to the standards. Taxes. It's compulsory to pay taxes to the government. Perpetual succession. Yes, there is perpetual succession for corporation. Dissolution. It happens by passing a resolution in the parliament. Now let's look into COPE, Committee of Public Enterprise. So COPE is a parliamentary committee established on 21st July 1979 by the Parliament of Sri Lanka. This is established to ensure the compliance of financial discipline in public corporations and other bodies in where Government of Sri Lanka has a financial stake. COPE's chairman is elected by its 31 members. Now let's look into the second type, government departments. These are established with the welfare motive. Example: Department of Railway, Examinations, etc. Characteristics of departments. Ownership. 100% owned by the government. Establishment. Established under a specific government ministry. Capital. Provided by government only. Legality. It's not a legal entity. The head of department that is the commissioner, should appear on behalf of the department. Liability. Government has unlimited liability. Control. Control by Parliament, Ministers' supervision, and government auditors. Accounting and auditing. All departments should maintain accounts and audit. Tax. There is no tax liability. Management. Management done by the head of the department or the commissioner based on the following: establishment codes, financial regulations, circulars. Distribution of profits. Transfer to government consolidated funds. Perpetual succession. Exists in long term, but there is no perpetual succession. Dissolution. Done through the parliament. Steps taken by the government to improve the efficiency of the government departments. Conducting performance evaluation programs to department employees. Minimize political influences. Privatize certain departments. Converting certain departments to public corporations. Now let's look into the similarities and differences between government departments and corporations. Similarities. Both of them comes under the public sector ownership. Established to provide public welfare. Funds are allocated from the budget. Controlled by the ministers and parliament. Dissolved by the parliament. Now let's look into the differences. Departments. 100% owned by the government. Managed by department head. No tax obligation. Established under a ministry. Capital from budget only. Not legal entities. Corporations. Should own more than 50%. Managed by board of directors. Should pay tax. Established under a Parliament Act. Capital can be obtained from different sources. They are legal entities. Now let's look into state companies. Any company started under Company Act where government or any other government body is allocated with more than 50% ordinary share is state company. Example, ITN. Main features of state companies. Incorporated under Company Act No. 7 of 2007. Government or any other government body owns more than 50% shares of the company. Established with profit motive. It's a legal entity and the liability is limited. Now let's look into businesses operated under local authorities. All business organizations conducted under municipal councils and Pradeshya Sabha are classified under this. These are funded by central government. Example, car parking facilities. Earlier in this video, I mentioned about privatization but didn't explain. Now let's look into privatization in deep. Privatization in basic terms mean process of transferring ownership from the public sector to the private sector. Now let's look into the advantages and disadvantages of privatization. Advantages of privatization. Burden on the government will come down. Efficiency and profitability of the business will increase. Government would get taxation income. Political influence would reduce. Quality goods and services would be provided. Now let's look into the disadvantages. Many employees would lose their jobs. Price of goods and services will increase. Attention to public welfare would also decrease and also may create private sector monopoly. So that's it with this video guys. Please do like and share to learn and let others learn. Thank you.
Created using Powtoon.